Back with a Fox News alert, President Trump averting a government shutdown, signing the massive $2.3 trillion spending bill, which includes $900 billion in coronavirus relief.
The emergency funds in the relief deal include $600 payments for every adult and child, an extra $300 a week in unemployment benefits for 11 weeks, $284 billion in funding for Paycheck Protection Program, and extending the eviction moratorium.
On Capitol Hill today, Congress will vote on the president's demand for $2,000 checks to every American.
Those checks, the major sticking point between Republicans and Democrats.
It's terribly untargeted, right? Why would we be sending $2,000 to people with a six-figure income who've had no suspension, no reduction of their income at all?
Given the terrible economic crisis facing this country, yes, we do need to get $2,000 out to every working class individual in this country.
So did President Trump's strategy help or hurt? Democratic strategist Robert Patillo and political analyst Ron Meyer join me now to discuss. Robert, what do you think? Did the president help this situation or hurt it?
He hurt the situation. Let's understand that President Trump had the ability to come out over the summer or even in the spring and say that he was going to demand $2,000 direct payments to individuals. Why would you wait until the entire bill has already been negotiated and passed in order to throw a monkey wrench into the middle of it? These checks could have been going out this week, according to Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, but it's been delayed because of the president's breaking down and stopping these negotiations and trying to do this in a separate bill. We know that we're going to have Republican recalcitrance. So, of course, he hurt this process.
Ron, what do you think? Is Robert right, or is this all Nancy Pelosi's fault from, again, back in the summer for demanding a gazillion dollars, not the official number, but it sure felt like it, in her relief deal?
Well, that's it. I mean, we can play the blame game all day, but Trump supported $2,000 plus payments for as long as I can remember, certainly going back to June. And yes, the Democrats did pass something, but it was filled with every sort of rider and spending package that was their dream, including bailing out states that haven't been smart with their money. And so, I think we can go back and forth and blame and say, well, it could have been done earlier. We all know this. The Democrats were never going to pass a bill before the election that the president would actually be able to sign. And so they filled it with stuff that would make it totally unsignable because they wanted to make sure that nothing passed before Joe Biden was able to secure victory. And so that's been their strategy from day one. And so I think the president, supported these big checks for a long time. He still supports them. He'd support a standalone rider that increases it to $2,000. I think at this point, no one's really caring about federal spending, and the president certainly understands that. And I think he feels like direct payments are, giving people their money back. And so that's really the least we can do when we're sending money across the world to various foreign countries.
Right. All right, let's switch gears to topic 2 now. The president firming up his Georgia rally planned for the day before those critical runoffs there in the Peach State. What do you think, Robert? Do you think the stimulus signing is going to sway voters in any way, shape, or form, or are the results in this one already baked in?
Well, the issue is that you've had Kelly Loeffler spending $500 million on commercials, criticizing Raphael Warnock for wanting to make direct payments to individuals. And now, a week before the election, President Trump coming out in favor of the exact policy that Raphael Warnock has been in favor of for the entirety of the campaign. Kelly Loeffler consistently throughout this pandemic is worried about enriching herself the same way that her husband, Jeffrey Spetzer, did in 2008 until 2009 with credit default swaps that caused the Great Recession. So these people have consistently demonstrated they feel that direct payments to the American people are unnecessary, but to help millionaires and billionaires is what they really care about. And I don't think President Trump is going to change that with a sudden trip to Georgia next week.
Ron, your response?
Listen, I think that both of the current incumbent senators voted for the relief. I think they've supported additional relief from time to time. And what it comes down to really is momentum and people wanting a true check on government. When the president-elect gets sworn in January 20th, people are going to want to know there's a check and balance. And if the Democrats hold both the House and the Senate and the presidency, I don't think that's what the American people want. I think they want divided government. They want to make sure that D.C. is forced to compromise and that one party doesn't run roughshod over another. And if you look at these Georgia Senate races, I think that's what it comes down to, and especially when you have candidates on the Democratic side that really aren't in line with sort of moderate compromising values. They're really, very hardcore progressive Democrats. And so do we really want the Senate to be taken over in that way when we could have one party control? I don't think so. And I think that's That's why you're going to see President Trump go down there to try to get some momentum for the Republicans to close this thing off. And I think that Republicans do have the slight momentum here, but it's going to be close.
And you have to wonder if the president really just held his nose and swallowed his medicine here, because even though he hates the pork in this bill, he doesn't want to do anything which distances the two Republican senators there and potentially makes them lose. Yeah, it's all about Georgia. It's all about Robert and Ron here on a Monday morning. We appreciate your time and your insight, gentlemen. Carly, over to you.